hit that subscribe button and the bell icon beside it to check out our latest videos before anyone else. What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the camera comparison between Redmi Note 5 Pro and Honor 7X. On the rear, Honor 7X sports a dual camera setup with a 16 megapixel primary camera with f2.2 aperture, followed by a 2 megapixel camera for depth sensing and an LED flash. On the front, it sports an 8 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. On the rear, Redmi Note 5 Pro sports a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel primary camera with Sony IMX486 sensor with f2.2 aperture, and that's followed by dual tone dual LED flash and a 5 megapixel secondary camera with f2.0 aperture from Samsung used for depth sensing. On the front, it sports a 20 megapixel camera with Sony IMX376 sensor with f2.2 aperture along with a dedicated LED soft flash. These are some pictures taken in daylight and well-lit conditions. Both phones lack auto HDR, so all these pictures were taken in auto without HDR mode on. Now images from Honor 7X look bright and colors look very warm. Because of overexposure, it loses details, colors and sharpness. Comparatively, you get close to accurate colors on Redmi with better sharpness. Capturing speeds and focusing speeds are equally good on both phones. Dynamic range is slightly better on Redmi. Now these are some pictures taken with HDR on both phones. Pictures from Redmi look dull, but it has better exposure control. Just compare the sky on both phones. It blows out a little on 7X. On 7X, images still look overexposed. Once again, there is a good difference in color reproduction between both phones. In extreme lighting conditions like this, Redmi perform better than 7X. These are some macro shots. I didn't have any issues taking macro shots on both phones. Both were equally fast at focusing and you get good bokeh effect. To sum it up, rear cameras are better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. On 7X, they are not bad, but not as good as Redmi. Now let's look at some portrait shots. Both phones use the secondary camera only for depth sensing and don't offer any additional feature. Now coming to the portrait shots, just like the regular pictures, 7X overexposes the shot and colors look inaccurate. Comparatively, on Redmi, color reproduction and exposure control is much better. Edge detection also works better than 7X, and you get a good and more natural looking blur effect. On 7X, blur effect looks too artificial. Now coming to selfies, these are some pictures taken in well-lit conditions. Even though Redmi comes with a so-called 20 megapixel selfie camera, selfies on 7X look much cleaner with better exposure control. On Redmi, you get a faded effect and colors look faded too. Most of the selfies are taken in extreme lighting conditions, and 7X managed to outperform Redmi most of the time. In good lighting conditions, selfies from Note 5 look better, but you're not going to have the best lighting conditions all the time. So for better selfies, I pick Honor 7X as the winner. Now these are some selfies taken in low light indoor conditions. Both look soft and they do a good job in their own way, so no complaints there. Now these are some selfies taken in low light outdoor conditions. In low lighting conditions, Redmi uses a dedicated LED flash on the front and Honor 7X uses the display as a flash, and you get very different results from both phones. Selfies from 7X look dark, but they are sharper than Redmi. In somewhat good lighting conditions, colors look super saturated on Redmi and it's off the charts. So for low light selfies, once again I'll pick the Honor 7X. Now let's check out some portrait selfies. Both phones come with a single camera on the front but still offer portrait mode. And here are the sample shots. Just like with the selfies, in bad lighting conditions, you get faded effect and very soft selfies on Redmi, while images from 7X look much cleaner and sharper. So for better portrait selfies, once again Honor 7X will be my choice. By the way guys, front-facing camera as a hardware is really good on the Redmi, but the software optimization isn't good enough. So with some software updates, front-facing camera on the Redmi can perform much better. Now these are some pictures taken in low light indoor conditions. Exposure control is better on Redmi, while 7X underexposes the shot or overexposes the shot. On 7X, colors look very saturated. Sometimes they look good and sometimes they don't. So basically both have their own pros and cons. Now these are some pictures taken in low light outdoor conditions. When zoomed in, images from Redmi have better sharpness than 7X. except for a slight difference in color reproduction. Both do a decent job.
Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the camera comparison between the Honor 7X and the Redmi Note 5 Pro. On the left side I have the Redmi Note 5 Pro and on the right side I have the Honor 7X, and I'm recording video on both the phones at 1080p resolution and the audio is from the phone itself. So you can check out the noise cancellation on both the phones.
Now coming to video recording, this is the footage recorded using the rear cameras of both the phones in 1080p resolution. That's the maximum resolution supported by both phones. On 7X, there is no electronic image stabilization or optical image stabilization, so the footage is very shaky. Redmi Note 5 Pro offers electronic image stabilization, so you get a cropped footage, but the footage itself is much stable than the Honor 7X. Now coming to the footage quality itself, Honor 7X overexposes the footage and colors look warm, while Redmi has good exposure control and colors are close to accurate colors. Now despite how the footage looks, I'll pick Redmi as the winner just because of the stabilization. Now this is the footage from the front facing cameras of both the phones. Footage from 7X looks overexposed and very bright. So in good lighting conditions, footage from Redmi looks better. But in bad lighting conditions, like when there is a light source in the background, 7X performs better. So it's more like a tie in this round. So guys, to conclude, rear cameras are definitely better on the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and the front-facing camera is much better on the Honor 7X. Purely in terms of hardware, even Redmi has a better front-facing camera, but the software is not very well optimized. With some software updates, you might be able to take some better selfies. So right now, if your priority is to get better selfies and good rear cameras, then Honor 7X is the winner. And if you want better rear-facing camera, Redmi Note 5 Pro is the winner. So guys, looking at the sample pictures and the sample footage, what's your take on the camera comparison? Which phone do you think did better? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy either of these phones, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.